Did you get ready in the dark or something? 'Cause you look like a beautiful nightmare.
Hi Pisces, welcome to your November 2021 Oracle and Tarot reading. My name is Tessa and you're watching my channel. So for this reading, we are going to dive into astrology as well as tarot, and I'm going to be using the Astro Soul Oracle deck. I love this deck because it literally has every single astrological planet, sign, moon, basically like every phenomena that you can think of is in here, and we really get to just focus in on a specific energy for you for November, because diving into all the different astrological events that are going to happen for November is a lot, okay? And it would be like a minimum a 5-hour video, okay? There's a lot going on. The most significant event happening for November is going to be the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, okay? I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do my mid-November reading on the full moon lunar eclipse. I'm kind of deciding between doing that as a theme or doing a different theme called like wine, love, and tarot, and I would focus on love, your person of interest, things like that. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I feel like the full moon lunar eclipse is pretty significant, so we're going to see. But for this particular reading, we are going to do astrology and tarot. So you can definitely watch this if you are a Pisces sun, moon, or rising. And I will definitely let you know if I have a message specifically geared for Pisces rising, okay? So basically, like, I am going to pull up the chart for November based on your the Pisces rising sign. And if certain cards come out that are very significant to something that is going on within the astrology, and I can kind of like connect the dots for you and kind of dive deeper into that message for you, I will definitely let you know, and I will let you know like if you're a Pisces rising ... Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But I have also noticed that some of the messages that do come up for Pisces rising could also resonate if you're a Pisces sun. Okay, that's something that I have noticed, which I find really interesting. But yeah, I mean, energy does overlap and things like that. So many dimensions to work with here, okay? But just an FYI, in case you're curious, the full moon lunar eclipse is going to be in your 3rd house, which is the house of friendship, community, siblings, communication, your thought process. If you're a Pisces rising, that full moon lunar eclipse is going to be in your 3rd house, okay? So a very significant, powerful kind of energy within that area of your life could definitely come up. There could also be like explosive energy, you know, maybe people being very communicative about, like, it could be related to like business or money or things like that within your group of friends, okay? Let's see, what else can I tell you before we go ahead and jump into your reading? Yeah, if you did happen to read why do I keep saying read? If you happen to watch my mid-October Halloween special, you saw that I read from the Moon Phase Astrology book, so I might actually do that again, okay? But that's only if I pull a Moon Phase card. So if I do happen to pull a card from this deck that represents a certain moon phase, that can be really significant, and there can be a very significant story there for you, something that you can definitely consider and think about, because if a specific moon phase comes out, I will look to see when exactly that phase is going to happen in November. We're going to take a look to see what zodiac sign it's falling under, and then I'm going to match it up with the book, okay? So I'm going to take a look inside the book to see like what that energy is all about, okay? Because every moon phase and every zodiac sign has a specific energy attached to it, and this book has so much interesting information about the moon phases and has specific stories attached to it, and I love it. And I really love reading to you guys. I don't know, like, I kind of realized from the last video that it's just something that I enjoy doing. So hopefully you guys enjoy me reading to you, okay? So, but that's only if we pull a moon phase card, okay? So I just want to open myself up to using different resources while I do these readings, because I kind of like doing this whole connect the dots thing and bringing the puzzle together. I actually used to play puzzle. I used to do a lot of puzzles when I was younger. Like, I was such a loner. I was such a, like, independent loner child, like just wanting to be in my own corner, building puzzles, doing my own thing, you know, like playing by myself. Like that was me when I was a kid. Okay. So I love puzzles, and I was like, even recently, I'm like, I should buy a puzzle, you know, just to have a puzzle around, because I've been having a lot of anxiety lately, and it's kind of like lately things have been a little bit of a challenge. I've been really sensitive about a lot of things. I'm sure you guys can relate. I actually have, ironically enough, it's really funny, like even though I have a fuck of a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, I'm very, very much influenced by water energy, because not only do I have really significant Scorpio placements, but all of like all the really important planets for my Sagittarius, like basically like all of my Sagittarius is in the 12th house. Okay. And you guys, 12th house is the house of Pisces. Okay. So it's like when you have a certain, like, if you want to learn more about like how to read your birth chart or how to get into astrology, you can be a fire sign, you can be a water sign, but if you're a water sign, if you're like if you're a Pisces sun, but it's in like, let's say an air house or like a fire house, you could definitely kind of exude a little bit more. Like you'll still be sensitive, you'll still kind of be dealing with like Pisces type energy, but you might like project it out, or it might come out in more in a way that is more like it's like filtered through the energy of like a fire sign or an air sign. Okay, so like if you have your water, if you have your sun in Pisces, but it's in the 11th house, that's the house of Aquarius. So it's like you might definitely be a lot more like higher minded in regards to your emotions, right? Like you might take on a different kind of filter when it comes to your emotions. So it's like, even though I'm a fire sign, because my fire energy is in the 12th house, like I can be very fiery and talkative, but it can also come out. I can also come out in very sensitive ways. You know what I mean? So that's just like an example. And I do tend to just want to be alone. Like I don't want to be around a lot of people, because I am sensitive, because I do get sensitive, and like, you know, people do kind of bug me, you know, and I'm like, oh, just get away from me, you know? Yeah, so things like that. But anyway, enough talking about me. But I mean, I do think it's important to share, because that's how you learn, right? Like, I love hearing other people's like interpretations, and I love hearing other people's stories and things like that. So, okay, so let's get into your reading, Pisces. Okay, so what energy does Pisces need to be aware of? Oh goodness, for November. I think my hands are just slowly giving up on me. Okay, what's the energy that's coming through for Pisces? There's actually been a lot of that lately. There was like a big storm here the other day. Lots of rain. I live by the lake, so like the waves were ridiculous. Like the water was going insane, and there was an ambulance on my block, and I don't know. It's the Scorpio. Like I was mentioning to the last video that I did, Capricorn, like it's Scorpio season. By the way, happy Scorpio season. So there's a lot of really, you know, the intensity is building. You know, the intensity is for sure building. Okay, so let's pull 3 cards for you. Let's take a look to see what we got going on. And it looks like we have a moon phase card. I actually get excited when I pull the moon phase cards, because I really like reading. Okay, so sorry, you guys are gonna have to listen to me read. But you know, I feel like the more you get used to it, I think you'll start to enjoy it. Okay, if you're not readers, okay, get used to, you know, definitely get used to reading. Okay, so waning gibbous, releasing, gratitude, nurture, act of service. Okay, so before I pull any more cards, because I like to do things one at a time and to kind of get into the information, into the insight, and see what we got going on. We're going to start with this. So we have the waning gibbous. So let us take a look and get into the story before we unfold the story even further, okay? This is why tarot is so much fun. Actually, there's a waning gibbous right now, but I'm filming this in October, so that one doesn't count. We're going to look at November's waning gibbous. So I can actually provide you guys with a specific date. And we're going to focus on the first waning gibbous because like the wanings and the waxings can kind of last for like 2 to 3 days. Okay. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so I am going to be clarifying all these cards. So I am going to pull, like after I read the story to you, I'm going to pull 2 more cards from the Astro Soul deck, and then we're going to get into clarifications. I'm using 2 different tarot decks for that. And then at the very end, I am going to pull a final message from the Enchanted Map Oracle as like an advice card or, you know, a message card. So everything, we are going to get deeper into the story. Okay, so what? Oh, okay. So right before, wait a minute. Where's the full moon here? Oh, interesting. So the full moon is actually November 18th. Why does it say it's in Aries? This can't be right. Okay. Well, anyway. I was like, that's really interesting. Okay, so I have a source that says that the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to be on November 19th. Now, in this other source that I use, it says that the full moon is going to be, oh, it's a partial lunar eclipse. It's going to be November 18th. What time is this at? Partial lunar eclipse will take place on November 9th. No, it does say it'll be November 19th. But it looks like it's moving into the waning gibbous phase on November 19th as well. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we're going to go with, November 20th. So November 9th, yeah. It does say November 20th here, waning gibbous in Taurus, okay? I'm not just like making it up. So November 19th is the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And then on November 20th, the moon is going to start to wane. It's going to become the waning gibbous, okay? So this full moon is going to be really significant for you guys, clearly. Releasing gratitude, nurture, act of service. Okay, so I don't know, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to see what this is all about. I'm ready. The Builder's Moon. Ooh, this is going to be good. Okay, so the waning gibbous in Taurus is called the Builder's Moon. 236. Okay. All right, so Builder's Moon, the disseminating moon in Taurus. As the full moon moves into the disseminating phase, Taurus moves outward from the circumscribed place of home and family and farm into the realm of the outside world. Taurus wants to make things that last, that will be solid and standing hundreds of years in the future. He sees the people without roofs over their heads, remembers the Earth Mother's sturdy home, and wants to put roofs over the unhappy masses as well. He becomes the builder, who works in wood and stone and concrete. He starts with houses and eventually moves upward into entire cities. The Taurus story moves toward and away from involvement with nature. And here the pendulum swings in the direction of civilization and the desires of people yet again. Making a city is a greater assault on the wilderness than the woodcutter's little business ever was. On the other hand, the Builder's Moon is essentially creative. He's not merely whacking down trees to sell. He's putting up structures that have beauty and utility that help people to survive. At the moment, the creativity outweighs the destruction. That, however, will change soon. The builder is creative, but he is not the artist, full moon in Libra. The latter is an air sign and is fine with abstract creations that have no purpose other than being gazed upon. Taurus, although ruled by Venus, is an earth sign and requires that creations be of practical use. Ideally, the builder finds the perfect balance between beauty and utilitarian workmanship, creating tools and dwellings that will be used every day, that fit well in the hand, that give comfort and warmth to families, that will never break until they are worn out by a good long period of hard usage. The builder walks a fine line, however. Cities can be amazing things, or they can be boils on the ass of Gaia. Often they are both at once. If they are poorly designed, they pour their filth out onto the surrounding countryside and cover the farmers' fields in wasteful concrete. They may attract too many people with their glitter, relegating the poorest of them to ugly slums and unemployment. Housing and caring for the masses starts in the builder's heart as the passing energy of the Earth Mother. He wants to help. The full moon in Taurus is called the Earth Mother's moon, FYI. So the next phase, the waning gibbous, is the builder's moon, okay? He wants to help, but it seems that no matter what he does, it isn't enough. There just aren't resources enough to help everyone who needs helping, and this pains and weighs upon him. If he is not careful, it can make him fatalistic enough that he abandons his plans of human aid and just builds monuments to his own creative urges. He can also forget himself and spread too far, undoing the necessary balance with the green spaces. On the builder's moon, we pick up tools and make practical changes in our worlds. Even people who have never picked up a hammer should try putting up a nail for that picture they've been waiting for someone else to hang. If there's nothing to do around your house, call your friends and ask them. Someone will likely have things that need fixing or even building from scratch. If even that turns up dry, try local organizations. Someone will want a coat of paint or a few shingles replaced at the least. If you're really motivated, spend a couple of days working for Habitat for Humanity or a similar organization. People born under the builder's moon find heartfelt joy in engineering things, making things and making things better. That can include making people better, which can be a problem if they end up bossing around their loved ones in the name of improvement. While creativity draws them, they are suspicious of useless arts, preferring to make things that can be touched and used. Responsibility for their creations is strong in them. They don't like to be associated with shoddy work, and when they go wrong, that's one handle that can be used to pull them back. They love to surround themselves with fine things and nearly all want to own their own home. But as you can imagine, they have a picture in their head of what it will look like, down to the last nail. If they can't build physical things, they will build organizations, thinking ahead to the bodily needs of the masses. Their hearts often get caught between the pull to make new things and the pull to stay exactly the same, unchanging. That sometimes means that they have to distance themselves emotionally somewhat in order to force themselves to change. When they remain deeply involved, the urge for stasis overwhelms them. Okay, that was really interesting. I hope you guys found that interesting. So, there's something that you're building over here, okay? Or there's something, Pisces, that you want to build, okay? There's something that you want to build. And I'm feeling like not just for yourself. I mean, that is really important. But it looks to me like there is this need, perhaps, to just kind of like step back a little bit. Because like to take a step back from perhaps like the overactive, just kind of like fleeting energy of your surroundings and actually focus in on something that can create stability for you long term, okay? That can really, really help build not just your own stability, but really like, so you have to start there, right? You have to start with your own stability, and then you're more able to kind of extend those acts of service outward and like towards other people, okay? There is a feeling like you want to help other people. There is definitely a strong sense that community is important to you, that there are people in your life who are very important to you, and it's important for you to kind of create that kind of stability for yourself and your surroundings. But there's also a need to kind of releasing gratitude, nurture, active service. Like there's also a need to kind of like release all these expectations that you have placed on yourself in order to regain your own self-confidence, your own strength, and your own ability to truly just do what it is you want to do, instead of like, and to like find balance between yourself and maybe giving to the world, so that like you don't get taken advantage of, or so, you know, you also focus on being able to nurture yourself because perhaps, you know, the demand for your kind of acts of service could be like high. So there is a feeling of kind of needing to let go of things in your surroundings in order for you to come to a better understanding within yourself what it is that really means to you. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, like what it is that acts of service and community really means to you, because, you know, like you could actually really need a certain degree of recognition for your hard work that you're not getting in order for you to continue, and in order for you to like have that energy to continue and to move forward. All right, let's pull some more cards. I'm going to clarify this. So I am going to pull tarot cards, but I do hope that you, that message resonated with someone. So let's go ahead and pull 2 more cards here. We have the Sun, self-expression, ego, creativity, identity. Okay. Okay, so this is, I mean, the Sun is currently in Scorpio. I just want to see what house it's transiting. So the Sun in Scorpio is in your 9th house. But this does have a lot to do with you, okay? This has a lot to do with like your own image of yourself and like understanding like even your own ego and your own methods of self-expression. How do you express yourself? You could be needing to express yourself. This could be, I'm kind of feeling this as like, and Scorpio season does kind of force you to go within. It does kind of force you to deal with some old wounds. So, you know, there's a good possibility that you have some wounds in regards to your ego, in regards to like your own self-image and your own identity. There could be a lot of like sensitive issues surrounding your ego that you might need to work through. And Scorpio season does kind of force you to look at that and to transform that, because, you know, it kind of like things just naturally during Scorpio season kind of come up. Whether it's from childhood or like some like old pains, you know, and it's like, you know, there's that song Growing Pains, and there's that saying, you know, growing pains, because like to grow as a person is painful, you know, like you do kind of have to, you know, kind of break down old habits. You have to go through things in order to get to where you want to be. And I'm feeling like you are wanting to get to that place of being that builder. You know, you want to build stability for yourself. You want to build stability for your future. You want to build stability for your loved ones. You know what I mean? But you have to, in order to get to that place, it looks like you do have to kind of go within and, you know, really face maybe some demons, or face your ego, or face something within yourself that's really not allowing you to fully transform within your own self-expression and within your own ability to like really communicate and to say how you feel, who you are, what you represent, because that could really be like a big step towards knowing who's going to be like the right types of people to be in your life and who's not. You know what I'm saying? So there could definitely be this like things like that kind of coming up. You know, like what is it that you need to release and let go of? There are definitely things that you need to let go of, that you need to like, you know, just kind of say goodbye to. And that could be really difficult for you. There's also things that you need to be grateful for that maybe like you've taken for granted in the past, or you've taken advantage of. You might also need to nurture yourself or a certain situation that perhaps lacked nurture in the past. And then active service is like, you know, knowing when to do things for others, and also knowing when to pull back, because, you know, maybe those acts of service are a little like, it could come from like a selfish place from people. So it's kind of like knowing when it's correct and when it's right to actually help other people out, and knowing when it's kind of like maybe they're just like abusing you or, you know, taking advantage of you, okay? And then also like taking care of yourself. So let's get one more card. All right, and like I said, I am going to clarify these cards and we're going to see. So you did pull the lunar eclipse. So yeah, the lunar eclipse is going to... Oh my God. Yeah, the lunar eclipse, it's a partial lunar eclipse, November 19th, releasing the past, breakthrough, pushing limitations, healing. Yes, yes, and yes. I feel like this is just falling in line really nicely with everything I've been talking about. Lunar eclipse, it's a partial lunar eclipse on November 19th. And it's going to be in Taurus. And it's called the Earth Mother's Moon. Okay. It's called the Earth Mother's Moon. And, you know, the Earth Mother is, you know, she is all about, she's kind of like that one step right before the builder. Like the builder, I kind of see that as almost like a more masculine version of the Earth Mother Moon, where the Earth Mother is like, you know, taking care of all the children and making sure that everybody has food on their plate and everybody's like attended to, but like she also knows how to balance things and you know, also make sure that the children know like how to share with each other as well, or not to be too greedy, right? Like teaching them like certain lessons. Like the Earth Mother also teaches certain lessons, and you know, but she wants to make sure that everyone is provided for. So it's kind of similar to the builder, but instead of like, it just doesn't take place in the home. It takes place like out there in civilization. You know, the builder wants to like help the community, make sure people have like roofs over their head, right? And like, you know, the more structured parts of life are taken care of, okay? So let's go ahead and start clarifying these cards. See, let's get deeper into this story, Pisces. I'm very, very interested. Let's get deeper into the story. Let's see what's going on over here. I am feeling very much that this is kind of like, it does have to do with the outside world. Like, I'm definitely feeling this energy, like like a lot of what's on your mind, or like a lot of the energy that's surrounding you does have a lot to do with the outside world. But this message feels very much about needing to like really know, like not necessarily like go within to the degree where you're completely isolating yourself from everything and everyone, but there is this kind of need to really accept and acknowledge, like, and to not be afraid to express like your needs, your desires, your wishes, like not be afraid to express what it is that you really want for yourself. And this could be what you want. You could want to do these things, but if you're not talking about it, if you're not expressing it in the way that you feel that you need to express it, then it's almost like the energy could just come to you, but it's going to come to you the way that it wants to come to you. And then you might find yourself like overly sensitive or feeling stuck, because then you don't know how to, navigate the energy, or it's like you don't know how to actually say what you really feel and be honest about your feelings. So this is kind of like needing you to really step up into your own personal power and into your own ability to like express yourself, to create boundaries, to like set up, you know, to not let the world dictate how it wants to come at you. Okay, let's clarify the waning gibbous, the builder's moon. You know, you guys could have some Taurus in your chart, since both of these cards are Taurus cards, the waning gibbous in Taurus and the lunar eclipse is also in Taurus. All right, let's clarify the waning gibbous. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups. This is your energy. This is Saturn in Pisces. So definitely needing to release. Okay, so this kind of goes together with that releasing right there. Eight of Cups, there's something that you are needing to walk away from if you have not walked away from it already. There is the Eight of Swords, Jupiter and Gemini, another 8. Okay, so feeling a little mentally trapped, okay? Feeling trapped. Now this kind of entrapment is like you feeling like outside circumstances have entrapped you and you're not seeing your own power to release yourself. It's like you continue to stay trapped in all these energies that are being placed upon you, and you don't even see that you have the power to release yourself from it. You have that power, but you don't want to see it. But there is something that you're looking at over here. You're taking a closer look at something, and you're pretty much like, okay, yeah, I need to walk away from this. Like this is not good for me. I need to walk away from this. Okay. And then you have the Six of Swords. So more moving away energy. Okay. Mercury in, Aquarius. So there's a lot of, yeah, there's definitely some intense energy here that represents like needing to go to a calmer place. Okay, there could definitely be, especially with that Eight of Swords, there could be a person in your environment who's kind of making you feel trapped. Okay, with that Eight of Swords energy, that Gemini energy, like they could kind of like be very cutthroat with their words. They could be saying things to you, maybe like they could be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Bribing or like manipulating you, or they could be saying things that's making you feel trapped, that's making you feel like you need to do what they say or like you need to whatever. But there is definitely this really strong, and I feel like there is this sense that you're looking at this, that you are looking at the way that this person is making you feel, and you're starting to acknowledge the toxicity of it, and you're starting to acknowledge how this has been like really horrible for you. Because like this person, you might feel like this person is keeping you trapped, even though like you do have the power to like move away from this situation and to go towards something calmer, okay? To like transition yourself with the Six of Swords over here, to kind of like release it and like take only, the information that is needed for you to make this decision. It's like you're taking the information, whatever this person might be saying to you, or whatever the situation surrounding you could be creating within your own mind. Like it could be creating some like really, really strong feelings of entrapment in your own head. And it's like taking that information, seeing it for what it is, and like moving away from it, going to calmer waters, going in a direction that is better suited for you, where you will be like accepted, and it's like moving away from the fire. Okay. So it does look like you are releasing or needing to release and let go. Okay. Now let's clarify the sun, because there's still, sometimes just because you ignore a situation, just because you like move away and transition to a more peaceful state of mind, a more peaceful energy, and move away from a certain situation, that doesn't necessarily mean that that situation has been taken care of. All you're doing is moving away from it. It doesn't mean that, I'm just saying. So I feel like this sun is going to be really, really important, because perhaps instead of like saying your piece, perhaps you did not make it very clear. Perhaps you choose not to make it very clear as to why you're moving away. Like, why are you moving away from this situation? Like, you're not really expressing your truth here. So it's like, well, what is your truth? What is your truth? Because that can be important, because it's like, even if you arrive to this new destination, you don't know what's going to go on there. People might wonder where you came from. People might be like, you know, okay, now you're here, but why? You know, like, and it's like, it's this feeling of like wanting to forget the past. It's this feeling of wanting to move forward, wanting to move into the future and kind of like forget the past, or to like intellectualize it or something like that. But it's like, I also get this sense like, you know, it's like you want to have this hope for the future and this feeling of like a new beginning, while you continue to hold on to this pain from the past. And by doing that, there is this feeling like that pain still kind of sits within you. It's like you might be having a new beginning. You might have hopes for the future and be positive, but if you continue to allow those painful feelings from the past just sit there without actually like expressing yourself or being honest about like why you even moved away from it to begin with, that could come up a little bit later in life. That can create other issues. So I'm just letting you know, I'm just being honest over here, okay? So let's clarify the sun, because the sun came out. So this is an issue with you. This is like, there's something about you and the way that you are handling your own self, the way that you handle yourself, your ego, your identity, your self-expression. Perhaps like you, I don't know, you know, that's something that needs to be like accepted. Like you need to accept your identity. All right, so, or you still need to discover who that is. You might still be trying to figure out who you are, you know, like what's your purpose here. Okay, let's get this clarified over here. The Sun card, we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, Saturn in Leo. Conflict. Okay, this kind of looks like some inner conflict. Battling out some stuff within yourself, and it could also be in regards to the past, like maybe why certain things happened the way they did. We have the Queen of Swords, Libra energy. All right. Some truth speaking over here. Someone might be speaking the truth here. There could be another person in your environment who's like, you know, just giving it to you raw, who's just telling you straight up like what the truth is and what they see, and like very, very, very cutthroat kind of energy. This could be a person, this could be the same person that you were dealing with in the past, that's very, very cutthroat about things, you know. It's kind of like it's my way or the highway, or it's like, you know, being very, very blunt with her words. And we also have the Page of Pentacles, Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Okay. So this is like, I do kind of feel this Queen of Swords energy more as like something that has been internalized. I don't, you know, because we're talking about you here, we're talking about the sun. So we're talking about you. We're talking about your identity, your ego, like the things that you are dealing with within yourself. So I feel like this energy, this Queen of Swords kind of energy, whether this is somebody that you have had to deal with in the past, or it's someone in your present environment, this could represent any feminine figure who's like very like straightforward with their words. They communicate very clearly. The Queen of Swords is also someone who has experienced a lot of heartbreak in the past. But like this is Libra energy, so this is also someone who like does desire balance. They want balance in relationships, they want balance in partnerships. They're very intellectual, and they're very like, you know, they Queen of Swords tends to have some deeper like wounds and some deeper pains. So yeah, and then we have the Page of Pentacles here. So it kind of, so what I'm kind of getting from this is like, there's there's like a battle kind of going on within yourself. There's a lot of like back and forth energy going on, like maybe in your mind or in regards to like you and how a certain individual has affected you and has affected your identity. Okay. Perhaps you could be like, you're really looking over here. I really feel this is like you examining with the Page of Pentacles. You're really looking at the details. You're examining the situation for what it is or what it was in the past. And you're looking to see how perhaps this particular person has maybe changed your behavior, and maybe not in a good way. This person might have like created a lot of chaos or drama, or has done something in your life that, you know, they have perhaps created a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, and a lot of conflict in your life due to their ways, due to the way in which they like handled you or treated you. And you are kind of like looking at this right now for what it is, and examining basically like how you have allowed this person to affect your own identity, your own ego, and, you know, where perhaps where perhaps you're still kind of like holding on to that pain. You're still kind of like, you could still be upset about it, you know, you could still feel very upset with yourself that you allowed this person to do that you kind of like allowed yourself to be kind of like, you know, sucked into this kind of situation with this person that brought nothing but drama and conflict into your own identity. Okay, so it's kind of like looking at how conflict has kind of forged your identity. Okay, and this could be like, this can go as far back as like your mother or your father, you know, like, I mean, it is a feminine energy. So this could go as far back as your childhood. And maybe like as you got older, you just continued to date people who brought on this kind of energy and continued to like create some kind of conflict in your life. Okay. And it's like, you're looking at this now. You're looking at it, you're evaluating it, you're like learning, you know, it looks like you're kind of like, you're really open to learn and gain more insight and wisdom into like, what the fuck, like, you know, why am I like this? Why am I afraid to express myself? Maybe like you had a lot of feminine energies in your life who were very like strict and very like cutthroat with their words and very like, you know, this is how it's going to be, you know, things like that. And that maybe made you afraid to express yourself and to say how you really feel. And it might have kind of bruised your ego, you know, it might have bruised your ego. Let's clarify the lunar eclipse. Okay, so we have the Fool card, Uranus energy connected to Aquarius. We have the Five of Cups, Mars in Scorpio. And we have the Four of Cups, the Moon in Cancer. I'm gonna get into that explanation. Don't worry. It was like, I'll explain it in a second. I just had this like moment, and I just need to like prepare this next deck for a second. Okay. Let me see something here. All right, so yeah. Okay, so clarifying the lunar eclipse in Taurus, you have the Fool card, you have the Five of Cups, Mars in Scorpio, and Four of Cups. Moon in Cancer. So it looks like you do take some kind of action towards something that ends up bringing disappointment, and then you end up going within. You end up kind of like you don't maybe get the response that you want. Oh my God, maybe you don't get the response you want, but it looks like you are, this could be something disconnected. It looks like you are releasing the past, breakthrough, pushing limitations, healing. Yeah, so like, you know, you make some decision maybe towards the end of November to like take a leap of faith to go towards something that you want to go towards. But you don't necessarily get the outcome that you're looking for, and you end up feeling a sense of loss and disappointment. But you kind of like just retreat, and you kind of just go within and meditate and just be like, okay, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but okay, like what was it that I was expecting? It's like you're questioning yourself. Okay, like, well, what was I expecting? You know, like, you know, it's kind of like asking yourself that question. It's like, because you're acting very impulsively on something. There's something specifically you're acting very impulsively on. But some kind of disappointment arises from it, and then you finally ask yourself, like, okay, you know, what was I expecting? Maybe you're asking yourself a question you never thought to ask yourself before you actually like took action. It's like before you take that action, maybe you should ask yourself, what am I expecting from this? Like before you take that leap of faith, before you actually go towards this particular situation or this person and have like some kind of new beginning, because there is some kind of new beginning attached to this full moon, lunar eclipse in Taurus with the Fool card over here. There's like, you know, the full moon could kind of spark some kind of inspiration in you to go towards something, to want to start a new beginning with someone or with something in particular. It could be in relation to like love, just because with the Palace, because we got two water cards over here. So I'm saying it could have to do with like a love situation, because we have a Scorpio card, we have a Cancer card, and water energy does typically represent love. So it could be in regards to like a love connection or a love situation. But it looks like you didn't really like, you're just going based off like impulse. You're just kind of being like silly about it. You're being kind of like whatever about it, you know, like perhaps you're not really thinking it through, you know, so then you end up becoming kind of disappointed. And it looks like it's kind of forcing you with the lunar eclipse. It's kind of forcing you to really, really dive deep with the Palace of Cups over here. I mean, the Palace of Cups is literally like the palace of freaking love. It's the palace of love and dreams and like just emotional, like, you know, it's not just like, it's like a home. It's like having love in your home. So it's almost forcing you to go back into your home, or to go deep and to really, really, really go into the depths of what it is you want and what it is you're expecting, because it's like you're putting yourself out there in this very like, I don't know, like unreliable kind of way. Like, okay, great, like you want to have a new beginning, you want to start something new, but there's not much thought behind it. There's not a whole lot of wisdom behind it. So you keep running into these like blocks. You keep running into these obstacles that's like kind of forcing you to be like, okay, like I said before, what did I expect? Did I expect anything differently? And maybe it's because you keep doing the same things over and over again, or maybe you keep approaching the situation in the exact same way, expecting different results, but you keep getting the same results. It's like that saying, madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So it's like literally like kind of needing to just like sit with yourself and being like, why does this not work for me? Why is this not catering to my emotions? But it's a little selfish. I mean, it's very clear that you do have some deeper, it's very clear that you have a lot of deeper feelings here. I mean, you know, this is the only deck I have that has these palace cards, and the palace cards are like, it's like creating a kingdom based off of a certain emotion. It's literally like your whole world is made up of these deeper feelings, but for some reason you're coming up as a fool. It's like, if you have all these deep feelings, if you have all these deep emotions, why do you keep coming up as a fool? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't you coming up as like the emotional energy, like the Chariot, or like Venus, or like the Hangman, you know, like I can't think right now about some of the other cards, but you see what I'm saying? It's like, and I feel like this is tied into this issue that you have with your identity and your ego. It's like not wanting to accept that you are this deeper being, this creature who does need sensitivity in your life, and you need that kind of exchange in your life. But for some reason, that's what you want in return, but you're not willing to give that out. You're not willing to like show your sensitivity. You're not willing to actually like, you know, identify yourself in that image. You keep wanting to identify yourself in like some kind of like air image, you know, but you're a water sign. So it's like you have these deep emotions that for some reason you're just not wanting to share with anyone. You just want to like keep it to yourself. And my question to you is why? Why? Okay, so the reason I paused a little bit earlier, I mean, the beautiful part about life and about emotions is that like we are here on earth to share the experience with others, whether it's intellectual, whether it's having an intellectual conversation, whether it's sharing your passion with someone, being passionate about like something in particular, like you're both passionate about a certain band and you want to go to some festival and you're like both excited, or like some like new scientific breakthrough came out and you want to like have a conversation with somebody about it and intellectualize about it, or you really want to like work together at work, you know, doing something, you know, for work, for money. It's the same thing with water energy. It's the same thing with water energy. Like, you know, we want to share our feelings with each other. We want to talk about how we feel about things, you know, because that's important. It's an important part of your health. It's an important part of your progress. It's an important part of like keeping yourself balanced between all these different elements and all these different things, you know, like, so I'm getting this like energy. It's like you want to hide that part of yourself for whatever reason. And it could have to do with like how society views that, but it's like, fuck society. Like, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm saying there's some kind of issue with you could feel wounded. This could be a deeper, and I told you before, like Scorpio season will bring up deeper issues, deeper things that we are wounded by, that could have stemmed from childhood, that could have been like, you know, maybe your parents made you feel like your emotions weren't important, like your feelings were important, or they told you to like suck it up, you know, like to be strong, you know. But, you know, I mean, that is part of the water journey. The part of the water journey is to like, is that we as humans can sit down and share our feelings with each other, whether it's like about each other or whether it's about something else, just like sharing, you know, like something like the other day I told my sister, you know, I opened up to her about how I was like on the verge of an anxiety attack, like, you know, like, and I almost broke down. Like, I went to the gym the other day and I almost broke down and started crying because, like, you know, the release, the endorphins, like, I don't know, it was just like a really interesting experience. But anyway, so yeah, Pisces, like, what the hell? So the reason I paused is because I realized that So for all the readings that I have done so far, I would pull out these cards first. I would pull out the Tarot of Dreams to clarify the Astro Soul deck, and then I would pull the Modern Spellcasters Tarot to clarify the Tarot of Dreams. But I did it backwards this time. I, like, for some reason skipped this, and I went straight to the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. So then I was like, okay, well, I still need to pull those other cards. So that's why, like, I paused, because I was trying to, like, see if I can figure out, like, you know, like, what, like, you know, but that's, like, and that is Pisces energy. Like, y'all just flow. Like, I literally didn't even realize until that, like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I was just flowing. I was flowing. I was, like, I was just, like, in the vibe of tarot, and I didn't even realize that, like, I didn't go in sequential order the way that I did with, like, all the other tarot readings that I've done so far up until you guys. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because it's, like, and that is part of Pisces energy, is to kind of be in that flow and to be, like, with yourself, with your emotions and with yourself, and to be able to be honest with yourself wherever you're at, like, whatever you're feeling, to just, like, do that, you know? And, like, for some reason, I just keep getting this strong feeling, like, you keep, I don't know, like that part of yourself, that aspect of yourself is just, like, I don't know, it's, like, hesitant. So it does look like over here you are wanting to help the community, or you're wanting to make some kind of offer to someone. But I do kind of feel like you are wanting to help. You are wanting to be this, like, person that can help others. I also see this High Priestess energy over here under the Sun card, representing your ego and identity, as, like, you really, really, really just, like, wanting to like, tap into your intuition. It's like, I don't know, like, you might just use your intuition. You might just use your, I feel like you use your emotions to, like, if you don't have some heightened, some, like, otherworldly kind of wisdom or knowledge attached to your experiences and your emotions and your intuition, then you don't want to show it. It's like darkness into darkness, the key to all mystery. It's kind of like, I don't know, like, there's still something about, like, wanting to use your intuition to continue to create some kind of mystery around yourself. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting, and, like, in my opinion, like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it's a little deceiving, it's a little deceptive. In all honesty, there's just this, energy of, like, I don't know, like, how do I explain it? I'm gonna start shuffling this enchanted map oracle deck to get some advice for you, to see what comes up. But there's a very particular energy I'm feeling with this High Priestess, like you don't want to let go of control, you know, like, you don't want to relinquish control over your emotions. I think you're afraid to relinquish control over your emotions, and that's why you don't say how you feel. Because it's like, I don't know, maybe you think the world is just too cruel or not sensitive enough. But there's also this feeling of, like, needing to tap into your intuition about how it is you are really feeling, so that you can express, so that you can express truthfully what it is that, you know, like, your wisdom, you know, your wisdom. Damn it. What the heck is going on? Okay. My computer, I hate it when it goes on screensaver when I'm in the middle. I know, I just need to change. I just need to change the timing and all that, I know, but I don't know, I forget. I forget to do things. It's been a little crazy around here these days. Yeah. It's like, it just looks like it's super, I don't know, there's this feeling of like having control and power. I can't help but feel like that's just more important to you. That's just how I feel. Like, it's just important for you to be in control. Okay? Like, of your emotions. And to, you know, kind of be the person to provide insight and wisdom to others, which is fine. That's great. I mean, that's great. That is something that you can like tap into and tune into. But there's also this sense of like neglecting, like not actually feeling like how you feel from your heart. It's just like, it's just channeling. It's just like moving all that water energy up into an act of service, you know, so that you can be seen as like you still care a lot about what other people think. That is exactly the energy that I'm getting here. You care a lot about what other people think of you. Okay, you care a lot. The Wizard of Awareness. Okay. Well, at least you're thinking about what I'm saying. You know, there is an energy here. Like this guy actually looks a lot like this tarot reader that I sometimes watch on YouTube. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but I do come across him every once in a while, and he's like this very, very like animated kind of guy. He's like older. He's got like the long white hair. You might know who I'm talking about, the Wizard of Awareness. But he's holding a wand over here, okay? And I really kind of feel like you might actually be thinking about what I'm saying and be intrigued with what I'm saying. There's a sense of intrigue here. There's also a sense of like becoming more intrigued with like how it is that who it is you are and how you present yourself to the world and how you project yourself to the world and the parts of you that you show to the world and the parts of you that you don't show to the world. Why? So you're coming into some higher state of awareness with this, okay? And it's triggering a little bit of inspiration in you and creativity and maybe wonder and like things like that, okay? Like you're just kind of like, you're thinking about it. So the advice, in all honesty, and if you're not doing that, the advice is to think about it. The advice here is to be like, think about this for a little bit, you know, put yourself into a higher state of awareness, allow yourself to evolve, allow yourself to really ask yourself some of these deeper questions about why you do certain things, about why you care about certain things, about why you care about how you appear to others and ... and all that type of stuff. That is the advice for you, Pisces, okay? So this is your reading for November 2021. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please come back for more. I will be posting more videos in due time. But that's it for now, okay? So if you want to leave a comment, feel free, like, subscribe, do whatever the fuck you want. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.